Alyssa, it was
Uh-huh.
Valentine's Day this past weekend, and I have some stories to share.
Okay.
So you know those like cookie in a small cast iron skillet things you can get at the store, and it's just
Yep.
like one giant cookie you can get. So my mom decided to send one of those, like a heart shaped one of those. For Valentine's Day, it's just like here you and Rachel can enjoy, have fun, and so it happened to be the Friday night after Valentine's Day. We were like, you know what? We should finally make this cookie. And so we're looking on it and it says included. Like you get the mix, you get the cast iron skillet, you get all of this stuff, but you're going to need like a fourth of an egg yolk and a tablespoon of butter. Yeah, it was
A
it was some
fourth of
like
yolk.
it was some like very small amount of a yolk of an egg, and so we were just like, so not even a whole egg? Like, what do we do with this extra egg? This is so dumb. But we opened the packet up to start making it, and we can't find anything. There's nothing in here except the cast iron skillet.
Oh, it's just skillet and recipe.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just skillet and recipe. I have the skillet here. It looks like a spade or like those little gardening shovels, right? That's exactly what it looks like. But it was supposed to come with like the cookie mix and all that stuff. And no, somewhere along the line, it must have like fallen out of the packaging or something like that because we just got this skillet and no mix. So
well,
there you
now it's
go.
up to you. You have
Yeah,
to make
up
the
to
mix.
us. Yeah, we were thinking about buying some cookie dough just at the store and putting it in there and flattening it out and stuff like that. But who knows? We shall see. We shall see. Let's see. That kind of leads me, and so I, I can go two ways from this now. Cookies, if you want to hear me continue to talk about cookies, or what I personally did for Valentine's Day. Where choose your own adventure.
All right. I choose to flip to page. Tell me what else you did for Valentine's Day. We'll talk about snacks later.
Sure. So my partner and I are not super big on Valentine's. Um, I mean, we just think it's a little corporate, a little too competitive between partners, or what you did the previous year. You have to up that somehow. So we're just not the biggest fans. So I did what anyone would do in my situation when you don't really celebrate Valentine's Day all that much. I went to go see Madam Web by myself.
She's your date. Your date is Webb.
Yes,
Hi, I'm
yeah.
Mr. Webb. I'm Monsieur Webb.
Exactly, exactly. Uh, yeah, Madam Web. Did you by chance go see this?
I was scared I would like it and that people would make fun of me, so I didn't go out of fear.
I, I mean, you are a person who generally tries to find the good in everything, which is something I think is admirable. This is a hard one to talk about because it's a bad movie, but I also it's getting so much shit on the internet that I'm just like I kind of don't want to trash it. It's like it's already that bad. Like I don't really need to say much else. But it's not necessarily bad in the same way that like Morbius was bad. Like I like Morbius was kind of memeable because of the whole like it's Morbin time stuff and
Mm-hmm.
all of that good thing. This is just a bad movie. Period. Like it's not really memeable. They have some weird editing choices. The main villain is mostly ADR, and you can tell. Like
Hmm.
they did not fix it to make it sound like his character is in the same room as anyone else. Um, there's plot holes that just don't make sense. There's leaps in logic that's like, that's not how technology works. What are you even talking about? There's an emotional arc in this that has no right to exist. In this, it blindsides you. It is
Okay, one of those.
wild. Yeah. I kind of want to spoil it just because it blindsides you and it makes no
That's
sense.
okay. I don't mind knowing. I'd like to hear something that is, if not positive, at least entertainingly baffling
yes.
and not just yelling a bunch of insults.
I do think that this will probably have some kind of cult status eventually. But maybe not one of the like, it's so bad, it's good. It's the like, it's so bad, let's make a drinking game and like do something
That has
fun
value.
with it like that. Right, yeah. So the main character, Cassie is her name, Cassie Webb. She is born in Peru, and her mother dies in childbirth. So she grows up in the foster system. We don't get to see most of that. We see her mom at the start of the movie as she's pregnant and having the child, studying spiders in the Amazon out in Peru, right? And then we see her when she's already grown up. She's a paramedic, and her partner in the ambulance is one Ben Parker, Uncle Ben. So fast forward, she gets her powers. She's not understanding them exactly. She doesn't really know what she can do. So she goes back to Peru, where her mom was studying spiders, where she meets the mystical spider people. And they like bring her to this sacred cave where she was born, and they push her, and it does the exact same effect that Doctor Strange did to Peter Parker, where his like astral form got knocked out. But this like knocks her into the waters in the cave, and she has these like multiple visions, and she kind of wakes up in one of these visions in a doctor's office, and she notices that it's her mom who's sitting there getting diagnosed by some doctor. To which Cassie then just blurts out, "Why did you hate me so much?" And I kind of had to stop and go, "What? Your mom died in childbirth. She didn't know you. Like, there's no chance for hating you. What are you talking about?" And like, it's not a mystery that she like grew up in foster care, or that her mom did die in childbirth. They weren't separated in that sense. So, and yeah, the movie then proceeds to spend the next like 10 minutes trying to convince you and Cassie that her mom does not hate her own child, that she never got to know. And like, it has this like emotional beat of like, oh, my mom didn't hate me. She loved me. She did all of this for me. And it's like, huh? What is happening here? Like, I don't even know. So yeah, that was, that's Madam Web.
That is a questionable choice. I would have asked for another draft
is.
on that, but
it really is. Yeah. But that is what I did for Valentine's Day. I skipped out a little early on work and went to go say it, and was done by the time my partner got home.
Were there many other solitary folks, singles there to see Madam Web?
Solitary? I don't think so. There was an older couple off to one side. There was another couple who I would assume is kind of around my age there. And then I think there was maybe someone either like a couple rows behind me or up in the like balcony, but there wasn't much of us at all. There was like 5 or 6 of us total. So that was it. That was it. Madam Web. I saw it, so you don't have to. But yeah, that's what I did. That's my Valentine's Day. That's it. That's all.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know, this is number 266 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer. I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, I just interrupted you to do our whole spiel. What were you about to say.
You need to give me a countdown. You need to have something that you can flash on the screen where only I can see that tells me when you're going to say the name of the show.
Yeah, I see. Whoa. There was a time when I was trying to figure out, like, how do I incorporate the intro to the show? Can I put a countdown on screen that only I can see when I hit the button to do all of that? Or even when I hit the, like, end button, the, like, YouTube end button, like, how much time do I actually have? Like, I try to kind of memorize it and be like, okay, I have, like, one more bar left in the little outro jingle, but sometimes I get done earlier than I thought. Sometimes I'm racing to get done, and sometimes I get cut off, and that's it. But yeah, yeah, I try, but I can't always to do it. How are you, Melissa?
I'm fine. As a single, my Valentine's Day is essentially moot. It is null. It is a gray liminal day.
Do you, like, buy yourself candy or something? Do you go, like, afterwards to get the, like, on sale? I guess that is it already Easter? Are they setting up for Easter now?
They might be. It's early this year. I haven't looked. I think I'm going to do that today. It's President's Day weekend, which means I can go to the vintage stock resale store with all the piles of movies, and they do their 2-for-1. Buy two, get one sale. They do every holiday weekend, like clockwork. The minorest of holidays, they'll sell you one free movie for 2 movies you buy. And it's a great opportunity. So while I'm at the mall, I might also see if I can get some candy. I had some leftover Ben & Jerry's ice cream, the national food of the sad person. And I ate that, and I watched Punch Drunk Love. Have you ever seen Punch Drunk Love?
I've not, but I've heard the name.
It's an early 2000s movie starring Adam Sandler in his first dramatic turn, written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. It is ostensibly a romantic comedy, but it's a weird one. Like, it's about a guy who has 7 sisters who constantly mock him. He runs a business trying to sell novelty plungers to, like, different hotels. Like, if you're a hotel on the Vegas Strip, he'll sell you a Vegas-themed plunger with, like, dice in it, in the handle.
Like that, or, like, here's a plunger, but it's just Elvis's head, and you can plunge your toilet with Elvis's head. Is that
return him to the scene of his death? No, right, I think the plunger part is normal. The handles are customized. You can buy one filled with rice for a wedding or a bridal shower. Dry rice. It's got the little cake topper on top of it.
Yeah.
He's wearing the exact same blue suit every day. A tiny piano is mysteriously dropped off outside of his work. He's buying all these healthy choice puddings because of a scheme to try and get frequent flyer miles.
Sure, yeah, that sounds about right for the early 2000s, yeah.
That one's based on a true story. I don't think any of the rest of this is true. Surely there has been a man with 7 sisters who mocked him, but I don't think that man also made novelty plunger handles. But the pudding part is accurate. He starts dating this woman, and also one night he's very lonely and he calls a phone sex line, not in a horny way. He just sort of wants to have very mild chit chat with this woman who's like trying. Right. Yeah. She keeps trying to take it in a sexual direction. She's like, "What are you wearing?" And he's like, "Oh, my suit from work." She's like, "Are you going to take it off?" He's like, "No, I'm good." And then that woman keeps calling him and is trying to steal money from him. And he finds out where the headquarters is, and he goes there and he yells at her boss, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Uh-huh.
All of this happens in like 95 minutes. It's really jam-packed. It's really bizarre, but it's very, very sweet.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I had heard the name. I guess it was early 2000s, so I was a young teenage boy at that time. So not like I really paid attention to rom-coms. So Good. Well, I'm glad you had fun with that. Indeed. I also I went to go see a rom com in
Uh-huh.
the theaters this past week. This was kind of my like actual Valentine's Day plans thing. My partner and I went to go see Lisa Frankenstein,
Mm-hmm. I also
and
saw this one.
we had a blast. This
It's
was
fun.
fantastic. Yeah. I think my partner liked it a little bit more than I did, but I had a blast. I think my favorite part was all the outfits that
Yeah.
she was wearing that are references to other horror movies or characters in them. And
Mm-hmm.
like, just incredible. Like, she looks spot on. It's like, oh, that's Helena Bonham Carter, but it's not. It's her. It's it's who. Yeah, yeah. It's fun to see all those influences. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was funny. Super 80s, super goth, offbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Good fun time. What did you think?
I had a good time. Carla Gugino shows up and just destroys as the wicked stepmother.
Yeah.
That's a supporting actress performance I hope is appreciated in the year to come. Bring her up for your consideration, Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
I
It
never
was
expected a
fantastic.
movie to use the iconography of the rocket shooting into the moon from that like 1912 silent film and use it in a
Right.
horny way.
Yep.
The audacity. Really appreciated it.
Yeah, it's great. I felt like it wore its heart on its sleeve, but was still like wholly its own thing. It's not scary, but it is very like horror coded.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple gruesome moments. There are some kind of ridiculous, funny moments. God, I loved the scene where Cole Sprous's character just beats up the old guy and drives off, and the kid is like, "Hey, thanks."
Bye.
Yeah, yeah. It was good. It was fun, but that's kind of what I've been watching. That's my cinema corner for the week. Was Lisa
Nice.
Frankenstein and Madam Web.
Cool.
But I see
I
you've written down something that I have seen, but it's been forever since I've seen it.
a brief TV check-in. I finally finished this past season of Our Flag Means Death, and I got back to Perry Mason. They're both
Good.
on Max, and my roommate will go on Max and frequently start and stop movies. So it really crowds up my you're in the middle of watching queue, and I will like forget that I am watching a TV show if she has started 4 different movies and left in the middle of them, and that's all it shows me. So continuing some TV journeys over there.
That's cool.
I made one of the best choices a human can make for themselves. This past Friday night, I had a double feature of 2005 plane thrillers, Red Eye and Flight Plan.
Yeah, so I've seen Red Eye. I know my parents used to own it on DVD. And I remember liking it at the time. It was like shortly after it came out. I don't think I ever saw it or heard about it in theaters, but I've seen that one. I have not seen Flight Plan.
Flight Plan is a great movie from the genre of Jodie Foster must protect her daughter in a limited space. It's this and Panic Room, maybe another.
Sure.
I don't know her whole filmography. But
I mean,
she
also kind of True Detective Night Country now, right?
I guess in the limited space of
Kind
that
of.
town, she's not like locked in a building or a plane. That's true.
Yeah.
She plays an aerospace engineer who is American, but she's been working in Berlin. Her husband dies, and her young daughter are flying back to New York to bury the husband. And I don't know if they're moving there or not. It doesn't really matter. And she falls asleep on the plane. She wakes up. Her daughter's missing. And it's a huge, like, double-decker plane with, like, a little spiral staircase. she's asking all these folks, did you see my daughter? You know, I brought my little girl up here with me. This is what she's wearing. She'd have this teddy bear with her. And nobody has seen her, and nobody remembers seeing her earlier on in the flight. And her daughter is missing, and she has no proof that she even brought her daughter with her. So it is very difficult to get anyone to take her seriously.
I gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, that would be a good double feature there between that and Red Eye. How does Red Eye hold up?
Red Eye's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got two really killer leads there with Rachel McAdams and Oscar nominee Cillian Murphy. There's something magic about these 2005 plane thrillers, because both Cillian Murphy and Jodie Foster were nominated for Oscars this year.
There you go. Good stuff. And then apparently the TV show on Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called with Idris Elba, Hijack or something, is also supposedly pretty good. I heard. So
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
I'm down for more planes. There is a passenger who is just part of the crowd in Flight Plan. He stands up and shouts sometimes. He looks so much like Paul Blart Mall Cop. It is distracting.
Really?
He doesn't look like Kevin James. I mean, he kind of does. But he looks like Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah.
Yes. Like Kevin James was brainstorming this new comedy film. And he's like, gee, what should I look like? While I brainstorm, let me watch the Jodie Foster thriller Flight Plan. He sees this one chubby mustachioed man and is like, I see myself in that. I could be that. I could be in a mall like that.
I could do that.
I could do that.
That's good. Interesting. I'm glad that Flight Plan or Red Eye holds up, because I remember that being like, it's a movie that's just really simple, right? Like you're on a plane, you can't really get away from this one guy, and he's just slowly chasing you the whole time. And I remember it just being tense the whole time, and I remember watching it with a few other people, and it was just a good time for us, like screaming at the thing, like, move! What are you doing? Go faster! Move! He's right behind you! He's gonna get you! What are you doing?
It is good for that. It's very 2005 in a very charming way. I felt nostalgic watching this. I thoroughly recommend both. Watch both. I started with Red Eye because I stumbled across it first, and I'm like, I know exactly what I'm doing for the entire rest of my night. But if you were to do it yourself, I'd say start with Flight Plan. It's more serious, it's more slow, and then go to the somewhat wackier Red Eye.
I gotcha. That works. I did something else that I did not write down on my cinema corner list here. I also finally saw Jennifer's Body.
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah, I went back and watched that one. I enjoyed it, but after spending years on Tumblr where all I saw was GIFs of that movie, I felt it was a little overhyped. But also did not recognize Chris Pratt at first when he shows up. I was like, that looks oddly like... That is. Wow. Holy moly, that's Chris Pratt. Weird.
It happens.
It was good. It was fun.
Flight Plan also has one of these. There's one strikingly handsome male flight attendant you see for a couple seconds. And I'm like, is that Matt Bomer? It is Matt Bomer. His looks stand out that much. You see him for 2 seconds and you know it's him.
Yeah. That's good. That's fun. Movies are fun. TV is fun. How's Perry Mason treating you? Are you into season 2 now?
No, I've got 2 more episodes left in season 1. I finally got to the part where he is a lawyer, which is all I knew about the show going in.
Yep. And that he is not a real person.
Right. Which I had to... My brain was still kind of in that space, even though that factoid was immediately disproven. In 20 seconds, you were able to Google it and say, oh, wait, I was wrong. Perry Mason, a fictional character, never a real man. I still found myself falling into the trap of looking at supporting characters and wondering, oh, was there a real John Lithgow? Was there a real Tatiana Maslany?
Right,
I have to remind myself, no, all fictional.
Absolutely. I loved Tatiana Maslany. Is that how you say her name?
Maslany.
Miss Maslany. Yeah, she was fabulous in that. Which is also a very, very different role from her like She-Hulk stuff. So that was what I knew her from, and then she got cast as She-Hulk, and I was like, I mean, I don't see it, but sure, like she's a phenomenal actress. So there you go.
I still haven't seen Orphan Black, but I know she plays like 8 different characters or something. I don't even know how many, but I know it is very many.
That's cool. That's fun. Good stuff. And then it's sad about Our Flag Means Death being canceled.
I'm happy they got to a point where they could wrap it up, though.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like the fate of season 1 was like a little up in the air before they got a season 2. So they're like, let's do a season 2 as if it is a final season.
Yeah. So at least it did have somewhat of an ending there, but there you go. Well, I say we take a quick break for some housekeeping. When we come back, Melissa, I checked our document last night for all our notes and stuff like that, and I saw something that made me super excited on our list. You simply put, "Let me describe this guy I saw."
I will describe the guy I saw. I altered the phrasing of the note, but I'll tell you about that guy.
When we come back, Melissa will describe the guy she saw. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. We hope you're enjoying it. If you didn't know, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and a lot of hard work goes into making them, so we would love it if you check them all out. But none of this is possible without your support. Head over to patreon.com/thewhatnauts and you can get access to over 40 hours of exclusive content, including our Patreon first podcast, The Pilots Club, when you sign up at our $3 tier. Of course, there is a free version of the Pilots Club available, but episodes are exclusive to our Patreon for 2 years before they hit the free feeds. If you're interested in buying merch, we have shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more for sale over at thewhatnauts.com/store. Another great way to help us out is by subscribing and leaving a nice rating and review on your podcasting app of choice. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for video versions of the show, trailer reactions, and live streams. And lastly, you can always find out more information about the shows we make on our website, thewhatnauts.com. And we are back. Once again, a big shout out, big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. We love you a lot. Thank you. Over on the Pilots Club this month, we talked about Heat Vision and Jack, created by Ben Stiller, starring Jack Black and the voice of Owen Wilson. This one was ridiculous. I had a great time with it. You can find the pilot on YouTube itself if you want to go check it out, because I highly recommend it. We had a blast with that one. Melissa, you got to pick the one that we are doing next month. You want to get people a reminder of what we will be up to over there on the Pilots Club for this next month?
Yeah, we'll be watching the pilot, the standalone pilot. I believe this aired once on Adult Swim as a one-off special and was never picked up to full series. We'll be watching Welcome to Eltingville, which is an animated series based on the series of comics about just these 4 nerds, these 4 nerdy teenage boys in like New Jersey who get into antics and arguments at their local comic book store.
There you go. Sounds fun. Sounds fun to me. Don't forget that the Pilots Club also now has a free feed. So if you want to go check out some of the stuff that we do on the Pilots Club, you can now do so wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on our YouTube channel. And our first episode is up, and it is all about the pilot of Eureka, the sci-fi show from I think like 2006-ish.
Thereabouts.
So, yeah, go check it out. The Pilots Club episodes release first and foremost to our Patreon supporters at the $3 tier and above, and remain there for 2 years before they hit free feeds. So if you check it out and you like what we're up to over on the Pilots Club, you can support us on Patreon. Do all that stuff. You guys heard the spiel. Okay, right here on the Captain's Log, this past episode, Melissa explained football. I challenged her a couple months ago to explain football. You were trying to learn a little bit more about it as a way to connect to your father. And I said,
the classic story.
What?
This is the impetus behind most sports movies, is connect to father.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I was then like, well, how about you take that one step further and explain it on the podcast?
I did.
If you want to hear Melissa explain football, that's what we did last week here on the Captain's Log. It was a blast. We had a good time.
Gotta say, it was fun watching a Super Bowl for reals for the first time in my life. Not just being in the room while a Super Bowl is on.
There you go.
Actually watched it. Watched the whole thing. Of course, the first one I choose to watch consciously is the one that goes into overtime and lasts like 4 or 5 hours.
I heard it was a good game. From what I understand. Cool. Then over on the review show, we just put up our episode of Moonlighting Seasons 1 and 2. Melissa, you brought this one to the table, and we had a blast with this one. And mid to late 80s kind of case of the week detective show, starring a young Bruce Willis, is kind of one of the prime examples of the will they, won't they that a lot of TV writers point to as like, that one. That's a good example of that. So
nice piece of TV history.
All of that, yeah. So go check that out over on the review show. Over on the Reactor Core, we have a couple trailer reactions up for you guys to check out, including Deadpool and Wolverine. And now, why am I blanking on the other one that we did?
Twisters.
Twisters, yeah. Filmed right here in Oklahoma, where I'm at. So go check that stuff out. And keep your eyes open for our True Detective Season 4 spoiler cast over on the Reactor Core. I think we will be recording that tomorrow as of recording this. So be on the lookout for that. But that is it for housekeeping right now. So yeah, Melissa, you got some splaining to do. Splain this guy.
I wish I could explain the guy. Last weekend, I worked a private fundraiser trivia event. I host weekly bar trivia is one of my gigs. We've been on a winter hiatus, so I haven't done it for the past couple months, but they pulled me in to also co-host one of the private events that this company does. You can hire them for. And this was in a huge like Hilton hotel ballroom, very fancy. It's the standard fundraiser trivia night where there's tables of like 10 people. Everybody brings in snacks. You can decorate and theme your table. You might win a prize for best theming. I think our prize went to a Mardi Gras themed table that named themselves Bead Me Up Scotty.
Nice. Okay.
Really like that. So there's some Mardi Gras themed tables, some Super Bowl themed tables, because it's just like what you can buy decorations for at the store right now this time of year.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody really went that intense. Folks kept coming up to the like little stage where we're hosting the trivia from to ask how to get started playing. Because it's very modern. You play on your phone, you scan a QR code, you enter in all your answers on the phone, and most fundraiser trivia nights are like people in their 50s. That's the
Sure.
audience. The
Yeah.
young folks besides me don't go to these. I'm not even that young anymore. I am 33. But lots of questions. How do I do this? And one guy who kept coming up to me and asking questions was dressed exactly like John Goodman in The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Dressed like him and looked like him. He had like the same haircut, the same glasses. He was of similar build. He's wearing the vest. I think there's a pin on his vest of that character. There's a little Walter Sobchak on the big Walter Sobchak.
Sure. Yeah.
And then he would like walk away and disappear into this crowd, and I wasn't able to spot what table he was coming from. So I was wondering, is this guy part of a Coen Brothers themed table? Is he sitting next to like a Marge Gunderson and an Anton Chigurh and a Barton Fink? Or I'm like, maybe he's from an entirely John Goodman themed table, sitting next to a Dan Connor and a Fred Flintstone. James P. Sullivan.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. The one from Brother, Where Art Thou? The one-eyed Bible salesman.
Guy. Right, it reads.
The Cyclops.
You could go so many different ways with how this man was dressed. And I didn't want to ask him because it's kind of crowded. It's kind of loud. Like, I don't have time for small talk. There's somebody right behind him who's also like, my phone battery died. How do we start the game over on somebody else's phone? And it wasn't until the end of the night that I walked past the table where he's sitting. And it's just all normal people. Nobody else is in a costume. There's no decorations, no theming. They've just got the standard, like, big thing of chips and dip, and if everybody brings to a trivia night. So I think
he's all about it.
I think that's just this guy's lifestyle. Is he's a Walter Sobchak all the time?
Potentially. I mean, like, because you guys weren't doing any kind of like costume, like it's not a costume party.
No,
what was that? Yeah. Was there any kind of like Comic-Con event near you or like Film Con near you?
No.
Could be cosplaying something and just like walked over from whatever event he was at, right? Like Big Lebowski Con, right? It happened to be upstairs or something.
It seems to be his personal.
I'll play trivia.
Seems to be his personal lifestyle, and he did genuinely look a lot like John Goodman, and John Goodman is from Missouri, so maybe this is another Goodman, a cousin Goodman, who is sort of. Do you remember the story about how I think it's Efren Ramirez who played Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite? He had a twin brother who kept saying he was Efren Ramirez and would go to open like a car dealership or something under his name.
Is that real?
I'm pretty sure that's what happened and to that guy. And he had to give his brother like a cease and desist because it wasn't his idea.
Wow.
I'll send my brother in my place. The brother was like, I'll make money off of pretending to be my brother from the cult hit Napoleon Dynamite.
That's wild. I had no idea. Crazy.
So this guy did not look enough like John Goodman to impersonate him, but he would never fool anybody. But if the same way you could hire Santa or hire like a woman dressed as Elsa to come to your little kid's birthday party.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe you could just hire this guy who kind of looks like John Goodman in The Big Lebowski. He'll come do anything with you.
Huh. Interesting.
Can you hire The Big Lebowski? No, but you can hire The Big Lebowski's loud friend.
For a second there, when you started the story that he was like this oddly dressed man that kept coming up, I thought you were going to say, and he looked exactly like Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Totally. Oh, table of all Paul Blarts. Paul Blart Mall Cop themed table. Somebody's dressed as the bird he fights.
Oh, good stuff. But Melissa, I got to experience some funky cookies this
How
week
funky?
here. Pretty funky. They are Space Dunk Oreos. I have them right
Whoa!
here. Space Dunk Oreos. They're limited edition. They're supposed to be like a space cosmic theme thing going on here. We saw them at the dollar store, and I was looking at the packaging because the cream, the like icing in the center, is both pink and blue. They have like
Uh-huh.
a cyan and magenta layer on it. And so we were like, oh, these look neat. They look fun. And then we took a closer look at the packaging. Uh, they also have pop rocks
Whoa!
in them. Yeah.
I've had
So
the,
you
I've
like
had that
you eat the
before.
Oreo.
It was like a 4th of July themed Oreo that was like
Oh, interesting.
fireworks themed. Pop
Yeah.
Rocks represents fireworks. We put those in the cream.
So yeah, I mean, we had never seen anything like that, so we took a gamble and was like, let's just buy a pack and see what they're like. And yeah, really interesting. You don't notice them at first, but the pop rocks are kind of this like after, not taste, but like after effect. Like after you've swallowed most of your bite, then it starts to pop off. They're not anything like life changing or anything like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not being like, I'm exclusively eating Oreos with Pop Rocks from now on. But it's they're neat as like a novelty one time thing. Have a couple with your friends. So that's it.
Cool.
Funky cookies. That's all I have to say. And then
Space Dunk.
invisible cookies with my empty Valentine's Day thing.
I'm puzzled by the name Space Dunk. I saw that they had
Right.
rocket ships printed on the cookie, but
They have a few
is that
things
it?
on there.
Were these
No,
done
they
in
have-
partnership with NASA?
No, I don't think so. It's just 5 galactic designs with cosmic cream with popping candy. It's not exactly pop rocks, but no, they have spaceship. They have
Cosmic
a
cream.
5-pointed star that's glowing. They have a shooting star. They have a space helmet. And then I guess what is a telescope on there
A
too?
Hubble.
Yeah, a Hubble. But that's kind of it. It was fun.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cosmic cream is such an abstract term. I think it could be any color, and you would call it cosmic cream. Purple
Right.
cosmic,
Have
green cosmic, yellow
have you
cosmic,
ever had
orange.
the space flavored Coca-Cola?
I think I saw you drink one once, but I didn't drink one.
Yeah, I don't remember if I had one specifically, but I knew they were making it for a little bit. But that was also just like, what does space taste like? How would anyone know? Like, you could just be putting out regular Coke with a new label. It tastes like space, and everyone's
I
just
can't
gonna be like,
disprove
wow,
that.
yeah. I guess it does because I can't tell them otherwise.
They also had the Coke that tasted like dreams.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, that one I did think I had, which had like a weird citrusy flavor, but also like a creamy flavor, which is
A
at that
creamsicle.
point.
A
Like,
dreamsicle.
is this? Yeah, it like is this just like orange cream Coke, or like cherry cream Coke, or I don't know. They already have
I
cherry
do-
vanilla Coke, so it might just be that. Who knows?
I like the idea of sodas moving into the same space as candles, where, sure, you can have a candle that's a real scent, like a vanilla cupcake or, I don't know, pine tree forest or whatever. But
Yeah.
then you have the abstract scents, like one of my favorites from Bath and Body Works is 1,000 Wishes
Sure. Yeah.
into the
You
night.
just you sent me a video recently of someone melting down every single like Yankee candle
Yes.
into one big giant
Yes.
thing.
The latest from Sophia Nygaard, who loves to do Franken experiments like this. What if I mixed one of every X together? Then what would happen? But in a very studious way, where she's like, we did our research, we broke things down like mathematically, We divided everything into categories. Here's the scent ratios. So we really know what the average, the mean of all Yankee candles is. And we broke down the scent profile, and we did a lot of science trying to figure out how we do this. What do we put it in?
That's kind of wild. Yeah, they had. Didn't watch the full thing, but I skipped around in it, and they had just like a giant tube of. Just they were pouring this wax in of every kind of candle that they had melted in. It was kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
But good stuff.
Great.
I was
Great
about
stuff.
to. You were talking about something as you were starting to get into the sodas. I was also thinking in the back of my mind, this is something that I feel like I'm kind of surprised isn't a thing. Why don't we have a popular fruit punch soda? I know it exists. I know it's out there, but it's
Hawaiian
not like
punch.
in your right. But it's not a soda. It's not carbonated, right? Like
Sure.
But you can probably get like a Fanta that is fruit punch flavored or some kind of equivalent, some Shasta Cola or some who knows, or like Jones soda, right? Like I know it probably exists, but I feel like a fruit punch soda would do good and would be in like your standard lineup of sodas. But I guess not.
I don't know if it's been relegated to a beverage for children.
I mean, I guess. But it
I
tastes
never
good.
see an adult buy Hawaiian Punch exclusively for themselves. But you're right. There's no good reason why you can't. You need to start
would.
doing that. You alone watching Madam Web at 4 p.m. drinking a Hawaiian Punch on Valentine's Day.
Gotta love it. Good stuff. But I feel like that leads us into your other question here about restaurants and lowbrow food.
So
here.
there's
What was your thoughts behind
you'll go
this?
to a restaurant and they will have a fancier restaurant quality version of what is traditionally a homemade food. Typically a comfort food, something like you can get your adult grilled cheese or fancy mac and cheese. Or I think when you and I went out that first night, I came to Oklahoma City, we got like fancy deviled eggs or something.
Yes. Yeah.
They're upscaling these like sort of potluck foods. That's a trend nowadays. And I was thinking about ants on a log.
Good old finger foods.
You know the childhood
Sure,
snack
yeah.
ants on a log where your mom would fill a channel of celery with peanut butter and put raisins in it.
Yep.
Which is a
absolutely.
snack I do still turn to as an adult because I'm like, that's moderately healthy. You get the natural peanut butter. It's fun. It's nostalgic. Lots of different textures. It's real crunchy, and then you've got the chewy raisins. It really hits the spot, ants on a log. I don't know why it's only a child's recipe. I looked up variants on ants on a log, and most of them were like not elevated in flavor. They were just cuter in different ways.
Uh-huh.
Like, no.
Sure. They make a face
Right.
out of it instead, or
Nobody is really figuring out how to upscale the ants on a log. And I've never seen this brought to a restaurant.
Interesting. As you were saying that, I was also thinking, what if there's a restaurant out there whose whole gimmick is that they switch the adult and children's menu, so the children get the filet mignon, the children get the
Mignon
clam
means
chowder
cute.
or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Whereas the only thing on the adult menus are like PBJ, mac and cheese. Like I guess you could have your standard burger,
Dino nuggets.
yeah, like stuff like that. It had. Dino nuggets, ants on a log, but it's all like adult sizes and portions and
Sincerely,
stuff like that.
if this was on a
That'd be
menu,
fun.
if I could order a side, it could be a side, could be an appetizer, could be sweet enough to be a dessert, an ants
Appetizer,
on
yeah.
a log. And I was thinking, right,
honey
there's
on it.
no there's different kinds of apples. There's a spectrum of apples, from your cheap little red delicious to your something that's more flavorful, more robust, higher end, like a cosmic crisp or something like that. Celery's celery's
dog.
just celery. There's no other kind. It's one kind, celery kind. You can get it regular or organic,
absolutely.
cut up or not cut up. That's it. I don't know the name of celery. Its name is celery. It doesn't have breeds. It doesn't have varietals or flavors. It's that. So like you could peanut butter. I mean, you could do something fancier like an almond butter, but I don't know how fancy raisins get. Like there's all sorts of wine grapes, but there aren't like wine raisins. You don't raisin those high-end grapes.
What if you took the cotton candy grapes and turned those into raisins, so they were cotton candy raisins?
I'd love to see it. I don't see it enough. This is a food that I think does have a ceiling on it. There's not much more you could do with it, but I want to see that gap closed. Do the little more that you can with it. I want to go to a bar and grill. I want to go to some hipster restaurant that they're like, we do things a little differently. This is mac and cheese, but it's for you, an adult. We put like crunched up Doritos on it, but like in a gourmet way.
A restaurant called the Kids Menu, or a
Right.
bar called the Kids Menu. That'd be fun.
I'd love it. Like that scene in Cocaine Bear where Alden Ehrenreich goes to the bar and eats buttered noodles.
Yeah. What else could they do? Because that was your question of like, what other kind of lowbrow foods could they elevate in this way?
Lowbrow or like childish.
Sure.
Like nobody looks down on the ants on a log the same way nobody looks down on like crayons. They serve their purpose for a limited younger audience.
I would be interested in like in-house cereal.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Not like Kellogg's
Yeah.
branded stuff, but like we made it here at the restaurant. This is our cereal.
Why isn't like a hotel chain doing that? You go to a Marriott, that's the only place you can get Marriott flakes.
Right? Yeah. Marriott marshmallow flakes.
Yeah. Marshmallow Marriotts.
Something like that would be neat. You also kind of alluded to kind of like finger food, like buffet style food. So even like pigs in a blanket kind of thing. Like,
I love a pig in a blanket. That's something I think I
that'd be
have
fun.
seen upscaled somewhat. You'll get the like weenie and a puff pastry with like a special like seasoning or something on it. You can do that a little fancier. I've seen it, but I would like to see it more.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of like an hors d'oeuvre kind of thing that you see at like a fancy party, and that has stuff like that, but not at like a sit-down restaurant.
Right, you can't order them the way you can order the plate of fancy deviled eggs.
Yeah.
We need to expand on the number of foods you can order at a restaurant, is what I'm saying.
Some of my friends growing up, they were Filipino. They had Spam, eggs, and rice, and they did stuff like that. And that was something I had never had until I met them, and I was like, "This is actually real good. I like this a lot."
I think I have seen sometimes, or not seen, but like heard of. We're gonna do something nice to Spam. We treat Spam with respect in these walls.
What else would be a good thing? Oh, we just bought a box of these last time we went to the grocery store. Like fruit by the foot or fruit roll up.
Ooh.
Right? Like that kind of snack, or even like gushers.
What if that was
Like,
the
some
dessert?
interesting things with gushers.
Not enough things gush. We moved on to the chocolate lava cakes. We abandoned the gushers. Why aren't there
Yeah,
little
we did.
chocolate lava cakes the size of Gushers and Gushers the size of the chocolate lava cake? A Gusher made in a ramekin.
Giant gushers. I think they have those. No, I guess a giant gusher would just be a jelly donut,
Oh,
kind of,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
What?
Yeah.
What? I don't go very far into these pedantic is a hot dog a sandwich food conversations, but now I
Or
am
is it a
wondering
taco?
what is or isn't a Gusher? Is a ravioli a Gusher? A savory Gusher?
Yeah, technically.
Is stuffed crust pizza a Gusher?
Hot Pockets are a gusher. Oh man. I don't know. What else could but like that would be a big thing. Like how fun would it be to have like a party sized fruit by the foot, but it's like 12
Ooh.
feet long,
Oh my God! Yes, you
right?
cut
And
it
it
into
comes in
little
a
slivers.
roll like that big. Yeah.
You don't need a plate. You don't even need the little dessert plates. You
It
can
comes
just
in a
pick it up
tape
and
dispenser.
fold it in. It comes on a big drum,
Yeah.
just wound around a massive spool. You wheel it out to your car.
Yeah. I'd be down for that. That'd be fun. Especially if they had temporary tattoos on them.
Or could find a way to make them
Yes.
alcoholic. We've mastered the
yes,
Jello
absolutely.
shot. Have we yet tried the fruit by the foot shot?
Yeah. The fall on your feet shot. Yeah, that'd be fun. Like especially if you could do alcoholic versions of that. That'd be nice. What other things do you give to a kid that's just like, here's a quick snack or something that we can make? We already have a bunch of fancy mac and cheeses, fancy grilled cheeses.
Charcuterie boards are just adult Lunchables.
Yeah.
We need to bring
I
back
don't
the adult
know.
juice box, like the Boku that Owen Wilson drinks in Loki, the defunct adult juice box Boku.
I guess the adult juice box is just boxed wine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like because even like bagel bites, the adult version of that is just pizza or like French bread pizza or like actual bagel pizza. Though you could make fancier bagel pizza.
We
if you want
should.
to do that.
Somebody in New York's doing it. There's some little
I've
hole in the
made,
Wall
like,
Street
homemade-
restaurant in New York that's
Yeah,
just doing fancy bagel pizzas.
I've made fancy bagel pizzas at home. More like chicken nuggets and chicken strip, like because
Yeah.
we've stopped at the nugget or the strip, and it's either
More
dino
shapes.
shaped. Yes, it's either
More
dino
shapes.
shaped or the like almost tetramino shaped ones. I don't know what they are.
Or the McDonald's classics of Boot and
Right.
Bell.
Right, yeah. But then
That's
you also
what the
have
restaurant's
the, like,
called.
the
Shut up.
Boot
That's
and
what the
Bell.
restaurant's called. Our chicken nugget restaurant. It's called the Boot and the Bell.
But like, but they also typically only have like spicy or regular, right? You could have
Yeah.
multiple flavors,
Yes.
right? You could have like a jerk chicken nugget. You could have a barbecue
Pretzel.
flavored chicken nugget. Yeah,
Put Doritos on this.
yeah.
Any kind
Flamin'
of
hot
chips.
chicken nugget. Yeah, something like that. That'd be good.
Truffle. Truffle
Yeah.
Parmesan chicken nugget.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we also have boneless wings, which
Yeah.
that would be where all the flavors are. They're the like
Yes.
rubs or the dips, but even then, it's like a chunk of chicken rather than like
It's not a shape.
shaped. right? It's not shaped like a T-Rex or a
We're
dinosaur.
we're not gonna only have exclusive highbrow flavors. We're gonna have exclusive highbrow shapes like opera glasses.
We'll be the Fortnite
BMW.
yeah, we'll be the Fortnite of chicken nugget restaurants out there. All
So
kinds
many
of skins you can come in. You want the Marvel set, you want the John Wick set, you want the
Oh my god.
you want the Perry Mason set.
Oh, I
Here's
love
his
it.
cow.
That's it. That's it. We've got the shaped macaroni for like SpongeBob or Dora the Explorer or something. Make it
It's
for
all shaped
adults
like adult things.
too. Right. This get your box of Succession and cheese.
And
Cook
then
it
if you
up
go
on your
in that
stove.
room back behind the beads back there, you can get some other shapes and stuff that you might want
Right.
back there, but
That's
only if you go back there.
Right. You can get SpongeBob or you can get penis. And I've
Yeah.
never seen like, maybe I'm not going to the right stores, but I haven't seen like boob macaroni and cheese. That's a circle. That's easy. That's easier to make than the penis shape.
Right? Boob shape.
Butt shaped. So many kinds of butts
pasta.
out there. I love a
Yeah.
butt pasta. But that's it. It's like we go for like the bachelorette party joke or we go for the thing for kids and there's nothing in the middle.
There's no
you can't
tasteful nudes, right? It's either like Dick Straws or SpongeBob.
Yeah, no tasteful nudes in foods. Tasteful nudes and foods.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's good. I like that idea. That's
I
funny.
really like the idea of proprietary cereal. I think that's genius. And I don't know why, like, the Disney World Resort hasn't gotten on that. If you stay at a Disney World hotel, you can have a cereal nobody else has.
There has been like Disney cereals out there, right? Like a Mickey Mouse cereal, right? As like a promotional thing, right?
Princess Puff, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have that on their parks and campuses and stuff. All that good stuff. Cool. We're gonna wrap up the show with our pop culture lightning round here.
One of these is quite notable. It's barely even a lightning round. The release of the Fantastic Forecast has been so unusual because people were so excited for it. This is something that really seemed press conference worthy. Announce this at a Comic-Con, a D23, something like that. And instead, we've been living in the space where they've been very strongly suspected and all but confirmed for like months. And then they just release they photoshopped a Valentine. And for Valentine's Day, they're like, here you go.
From our
it's
family
them.
To yours.
It's
we love you.
them who you've been thinking. You know how Valentines are sent from an entire family?
Right? Like
you know how families do that. All of the Springers send a Valentine. What if you buy the pack of Valentines and there's a big one for teacher? It's never like your parents also sign that. To Mrs.
Thanks for putting
Smith,
up with our kid. We love you a lot.
From every Springer, not just Kyle. But yes, I'm happy to know this information now officially, but what a perplexing journey we've been on to get the information.
Yeah. I liked the art that they put up with it.
It's
the
cute.
illustrator who did that did a great job.
I love that you see the thing and then they've got a picture of like
his like
Ben
astronaut.
Grimm.
Yeah.
Right. So like you can't make the thing look that much like the actor. So like here is the actor.
Yeah.
And I really hope this is canonically a part of the Baxter Building. Like how I've been pushing for the Blade movie to have a scene where Blade wears a hat with his name on it. Like how they literally introduced Mahershala Ali where he puts on the Blade hat. I want that to be canon. Blade wears a hat with his name on it. I want this same big astronaut picture of Eben Moss Baccarat to be in the Baxter Building.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, if you are unawares, the cast of the Fantastic Four has been announced. They announced it on Valentine's Day. And it is Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Ibn Masbakrak as Ben Grimm, the Thing.
Thing.
Yeah, I'm only unfamiliar with Joseph Quinn. I don't know what he's really been in.
He had a pretty standout supporting role in this last season of Stranger Things.
Okay.
And I'm sure he's been in other
gotcha.
things, but that's the thing most people point to, and that I know him from.
Yeah. I'm super excited for The Thing. I think that's great casting, especially after seeing his energy in the Bear. And he has a Chicago accent in that, but if he can make that a New York one and keep that same energy, and he'll be spot on. He'll be perfect.
Oh, I'd love if he was a Chicago transplant, and that's another thing that makes him feel like an outsider, besides being a rock man. He also can't get the kind of hot dogs he likes in New York City. Why is your pizza different? I need mine thicker. He opens a chain of thick, deep dish pizza restaurants, deep as him.
We see him in the background arguing with someone at a hot dog cart. You're making hot dogs wrong.
I can't buy Cubs jerseys in my size anymore.
So yeah, I like this cast. I think this will be a lot of fun. I don't know if I have really much else to say about it besides that.
There was a time.
Good cast.
There was a time when people were theorizing, what if they flip it? What if they kind of mess with the power sets? And Sue is stretchy and Reed is invisible. And
interesting.
That I have been thinking about that. So the thing about Pedro Pascal is that he has become very well known for playing a role that is primarily vocal based in playing the Mandalorian, where his face is very rarely seen. I wonder if they're utilizing that specific strength of his. They're like, Pedro, we're going to see you way more than we saw the Mandalorian. But you've got the talents to be invisible most of the time. Vanessa Kirby, we'd love to see you stretch. We'd love to see you 20 feet wide, Vanessa Kirby.
I don't think I would like that, or I don't think that would go down kind of well, because of her being the Invisible Woman. That was kind of one of the things of when the Fantastic Four was created. Like that is what it was a commentary on, the role of the woman in the family, in the household, and that she is kind of invisible. And having her secretly be the best member of this team, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of the shining light and the strength of that series. So I feel like it'd be kind of weird if you flipped it around. I don't know. But yeah, who knows? Who knows exactly what their origin story will be according to the MCU. It appears to be set in the 60s. So I don't know what that means exactly. Maybe we'll get to see some more of Shield, stuff like that. I forget when they got started. Yeah, it would be the mid 40s, early 50s ish. So
we're in the area where you've got like Hank Pym there. We can see some luscious 1960s Hank Pym hair.
Yep.
Peggy's hanging around.
Peggy would be there, yeah.
We've got the whole Shield gang. Might be fun to see them. That's true.
Yeah. Who knows? Indeed. I would love to see Howard Stark again. But when do they do the cutoff line for which Howard Stark do they use?
Yes. Bring Dominic Cooper back. Maybe he's aged into guy from Mad Men era now.
Yeah, give him like more silver hair to look like I forget the actor's name. He's also a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, guy from Mad Men.
Yeah, Mad Men guy. Or even because in the Agent Carter show, you see Jarvis. You see the real life version of Jarvis. I would love to see more of him come back. I don't remember if he met his fate or whatnot in that show. That show only lasted 2 seasons, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. It's exciting stuff. So
his name's John Slattery. I'm like, I know this man's name. What
Thank
is
you.
it?
Thank you. But did you see how part of the cast started to get leaked earlier on?
For what? Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
I was following all that era of it's this person, no, it's this person, this is who we're looking at, and it's all like so much of it happened last summer during the strikes, so it's just entirely rumors and hearsay. And
there was all of that, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then a couple days before this announcement, it was the SAG-AFTRA website had something on their website that said Pedro Pascal is starting production on Fantastic Four very soon. And it was the director who then like not retweeted, but like put on his Instagram stories one of those pictures that the like geek news sites put up that are like, it's all, Pedro Pascal to star in the according to SAG-AFTRA. And he put that on his stories. And then like the day after, like deleted everything on his Instagram. So everyone was like, oh, yeah, I think that's maybe pretty official here. Yeah.
I wonder what it's like to be an actor and if you prefer the big Comic-Con announcement where you walk out on stage and Kevin Feige gives you a hat, or if you like the quieter, here's just a press release and we photoshopped a fun image for you.
Yeah. I don't know. Guess it kind of depends. Right.
Right. Like I kind of feel bad if like Joseph Quinn wanted to like walk out on stage at Comic-Con.
He'll get his time.
He can, but he doesn't get as big of the surprise bump. He's like, oh, they already know it's me.
Well, now they have the thing where they can bring them out on stage, and in the middle of like a cast interview, Dr. Doom will come out and he unmasks himself, right? That'd be awesome. That'd be fun.
Yeah. God, just pulls he pulls the mask off. Like, wasn't it Andrew Garfield who did that once?
Right.
Showed up as Spider-Man and pulled the mask off, and that's Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that would be really, really fun. They could do things with that. Over at the distinguished competition, DC Comics also announced the release date for Joker 2, and it got completely overshadowed by the Fantastic Four. So Joker 2 is coming out October 4th, 2024. I still have not seen the first one of that.
Me either. So. I also still need to see it.
And then beyond that, Marvel also released their first trailer for X-Men 97, their new animated show. Melissa, did you get a chance to check it out? Are you interested in that one at all?
I did watch the Eric Voss breakdown of it because I have vague memories of the X-Men cartoon series. People really love it. I know that much, so I'm excited for them that show is getting a direct continuation. This is a direct sequel of the original show. But I know this is one of the things that people will be so hyped to talk about and I will not connect with at all. Because everybody's going to come to it with like, I loved this show growing up. Finally, they're continuing it. This means so much to me. And they shake me by the shoulders saying, have you seen X-Men 97? X-Men 97 is incredible. for these, it's like the way people would yell at me about, I don't know, Ahsoka or something. And I'm like,
Sure.
I don't have the context you have. I can't get the context you have. I can't go back and make myself love the show when I was 7. So I'd never
So
like it as much as you do. So I'm not
think
going to bother.
I think you and I are kind of on the tail end of when people watched and liked that show. Because I have a lot of nostalgia for that show, but I'm kind of like you. I never actually watched it. I caught a
I
random
watched a lot
episode here
more.
and there. For me, it was X-Men Evolution.
Exactly. Yes.
That's the one I watched.
That's our generation.
Yeah. But I still have nostalgia for the original X-Men cartoon. I like it. I love the memes. I love the sound track. That theme song is so iconic, right? And I'm excited to see what they do with it. I have to say, I don't think Marvel animation has been the greatest. I don't think they have the greatest track record overall. Their shows have, at the best, been okay. There's a few that are decent, but of course, nowhere near to the heights that the DC Comics animated shows had. But I'm hoping, because this is newer, it seems to be this. It's not Marvel Studios that's making this. It is Marvel Animation, but how connected is this to not the MCU but Marvel Studios? Like, how much do they have
it seems like this is coming from the team who did like What If, and I don't know what the lineage is and how much team connection there is between like the cartoons that would be on Disney XD to like where we are now with these series.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm excited. I liked that trailer. I thought it was a really neat trailer to see that old school TV with the action figures setting up and it's slowly zooming in. I thought that was fantastic. I am also... X-Men comics have been such a large part of the Marvel universe that I've kind of stayed away from, just because it's overwhelming. There's so much and it can get so complicated. But it seems like they're doing a storyline with Magneto taking over the X-Men after Professor X has died, which is something that did happen in the comics. I do know that. Back when I used to listen to Jay and Miles explain the X-Men, I remember them talking about that storyline. And I think that's right around the era of New Mutants. So I'm wondering even if they're like in their back pocket keeping like a New Mutant spin-off. Hey, if this does well, could we do something else with it, with this in that same universe? Who knows? But I think there were also some X-Men comics, X-Men like 93 comics or whatever year they set it in after the show. That was published a handful of years ago. Don't remember how those did, but connected with the show if you're interested. So there you go. And then I'm super excited because the trailer for Invincible Season 2 Part 2 also got released this past week. I recently did a read-through of all the Invincible comics. Fantastic series. Season 1 of the cartoon was incredible. And I have been saving Season 2 so that I can binge it all and watch it. So I'm happy that Part 2 is finally coming out and I'm getting closer to being able to watch it. So I'm excited. Good stuff. I know you've not dived into that one at all, but did you by chance see the trailer or anything?
I have not. This one missed me entirely.
That is a-okay. But yeah, that's kind of all of the pop culture stuff that I was seeing this week. Of course, rumors are now swirling out there about who will play Doctor Doom. out there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the near future.
I remember us talking about this when I came to visit you, August 2022. We were
Right.
awkwardly standing around your kitchen being like, who do you want for Doom? Michael Shannon?
Who do you want for Doom?
We're still
John
on
Hamm?
this. This is
Right.
taking a long time.
It really is. I mean, remember when they first teased Fantastic Four in the Spider-Man movies?
Oh, yeah.
It was so long ago. It's
Right.
taken forever, and it got delayed. It changed directors, like all that stuff. So there you go. That's what's happening in the world of geeky news, all that good stuff. Well, there you go. I think that about wraps us up for this week's podcast. So, Melissa, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
I've had accounts places at Wilkywit, WILKYWIT. I'm not much of a poster anymore, but I can still be messaged.
That is A-okay. That happens. Yeah. Oops, wrong button. Need to hit this button and then this one. There you go. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer. And if you would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts official on Threads. So please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. If you're watching this on YouTube, go check out more of our YouTube videos right over there. That would also help us out a bunch. But yeah, this has been number 266 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.